Hey folks, I started my adventure on exploring the React codebase to figure out how the magic happens, and I wanted to share my first observations. So let's get started. The starting point. Well, first thing for me was to write a simple code, and the famous counter example, and try to understand how this JSX I wrote is transformed to something rendered on the browser. My first idea was to follow the import. I said, well, let's follow the import from the React codebase and see how it goes. So I I cloned the repo. I have the version 19 on my laptop, as you can see here. And well, let me zoom a bit. I hope it's better now. And I said, yeah. Oh, the first thing I was looking for the packages that I'm interested in. Oh, there is a React and React DOM. So let's start with React. If I open in general, the package.json file gives an interesting idea on on the architecture, I would say, of the code base, because you see the packages that are used. Well, there is no external package. And let's go to the index file. Well, here it's interesting. As you can see, there is a there is only exported element from other files, well, from other one file, actually React clients. But here we can see what we have: children, component, fragment, etc. We can see, for example, the create context, create element. That I knew it was the function that JSX is transformed to, and you can see hooks, etc. So let's go to this file. Right. I don't know why it's not working, my shortcut. Let's do it like this and see what we have here. Well, here there is two things that was interesting to me. First thing, I wanted to know this React version, what it is exactly. As you can see, it's just exporting a default string, so nothing fancy here. But this one was more surprising. In sense, I didn't know about what they call symbols, React symbols, which, oh, sorry, I did a mistake. Well, here in React client file, I was interested by two things. First, I wanted to know this React version, what it is exactly. As you can see, nothing fancy here, just exporting a default string. But this one was new to me. Actually, they use a syntax. Actually, they use a syntax that I didn't know about it, called symbol. It's a pure JavaScript. That creates unique references, actually, or unique values. So this one was intriguing to me, that I wanted to explore more. Beside this, we can see that here we are exporting some element from React class, create ref. Here we can see the create element from React JSX element. This one was interesting as well. Re-exporting is here. It's coming from which file? This one. So I guess this is the under. Here we have something interesting called JSX prod. I don't know what's the relationship between create element and JSX prod. Well, it seems that both returns this React element. I guess it's this one that creates the virtual DOM. Yeah, this one is interesting to understand how JSX works. What is context? Here, there is something interesting. You see, we have utilities related to children that are like the utilities for the array data structure. Here, the hooks. Yeah, you can see here we are exporting an object called children with all these utilities and the hooks. Yeah, this one is interesting. Now, the second part I wanted to understand is the React DOM library. Close this one and search for React DOM here. Let's see the package JSON first. Nothing added as dependency. There is this scheduler thing and peer dependency React. Okay, just two dependencies. And if we go to the index file, my first attempt was to search for create root. We go back here. See, let me zoom. We are importing the default. And calling create root. And calling create root. Actually, it's coming from React DOM client. If we go back here. So as you can see, there is no create root here, but it's coming from client. Here we can find it. Let's go to this file. Well, create root is just re-exported here from this React DOM roots. Well, here things becomes a bit complicated. Why? Because I was looking for the render function that is called to attach the React component to the DOM, but I couldn't find it actually. Is added here to the type, and I couldn't find it. So I said, well, let's see what this create root does and try to investigate from there. So here you can see it's create a container called the root, and this container is returned here. So I said, well, let's see this new React DOM root, what it does. Why do it doesn't work? Let's do it like this. It should be this one, right? Well, it doesn't help that much, right? It's just an assignment. So I said, well, maybe I should search for this create container. It's coming from React Fiber Reconciler. Interesting. Now we are going to another package, React Fiber Reconciler. React Reconciler, and the source file called React Fiber Reconciler. And here you can see this create container. Well, still I don't see any render method, but there is this create fiber root. So I said, let's go for this one. React fiber root. Let's search for fiber roots. Create fiber root. Yeah, it returns something called fiber node. Well, it's coming from something called fiber node. Well, as you can see, now things becomes more complicated and needs more investigations. So here I stopped. I said, well, just by following the import, I'm not sure I will understand how this code base works. I decided to build a mental model for the big picture before diving more into this code base. So what is the mental model for React? If you listen to some conferences and the React team, how they present it, actually there is two big pieces to it, the reconciler and the renderer. The logic that is used to identify the changes that should be attached to the DOM or any platform are done by the reconciler. As you know, the main innovation of React is the virtual DOM. Manipulating the virtual DOM was more performant than manipulating the real DOM in the browser. So all the logic of diffing, I mean comparing the old virtual DOM to the updated one, is done within the reconciler, and then this virtual DOM, well, the minimum changes that are identified and need to be rendered are delegated to the renderer. The renderer is responsible for applying those changes to the target platform. In my case, it's the browser, but it could be a native app using React Native. That's the big idea. Well, there is something confusing with this mental model, is the virtual DOM. Who's responsible for creating the virtual DOM? When I was listening to React conferences, I had the feeling that this part is within the reconciler, but this is not accurate. Actually, even if they don't mention it, creating the virtual DOM is a separate process done by React Core. React Core is the React package, and it's the one is responsible for creating the virtual DOM that then is delegated to a reconciler for the diffing, and then delegated to the renderer. So here we have the three main package. So here we have the three main packages involved in a React application. React Core, that creates the virtual DOM. React Reconciler, that computes the changes. And the React DOM, that renders the virtual DOM to the browser. Well, there is one question left though. Actually, which package deals with the JSX? Because when I write code, I write JSX. And when this mental model is not clear, which package is responsible for transforming this syntax sugar to real JavaScript code? Well, after investigating, in reality, it happens outside of React codebase. This task is delegated to a transpiler, mainly Bubble. Well, the transpiler, and others may call it compiler as well, is the one responsible for transforming JSX to pure JavaScript. And to do so, it goes through three steps: parsing, transforming, and code generation, which is another rabbit hole, right? So just to summarize, to go from code JSX to the browser, as you can see in this diagram, JSX goes into the transpiler Bubble, the package Bubble, that generates pure JavaScript. This JavaScript goes to a React Core, which is a React package, and generates the virtual DOM. Then it's transferred to the React reconciler, which does the update and calculate the minimum set of changes that should be applied to the target platform. And then it transferred to the renderer, React DOM in my case, to render those changes to the browser. So now I have a clear vision and a clear mental model how a React application is structured under the hood and all the steps involved to go from JSX to UI rendered into the browser. Well, with this clear mental model, I can now dive into all those steps to understand how they are built from scratch. So the next step for me would be to start at the beginning with the transpiler. But before this, and before going down the rabbit hole of Babel, I want to explore this syntax symbol primitive and see how I can use it in my day-to-day job. When you go down a rabbit hole, you may end up in another one, right? Well, my next step would be to go down the rabbit hole of Babel to understand this first step, how to go from JSX to code. But before that, and before diving into Babel codebase, I would like to learn about those symbols and how I can apply them in my day-to-day job. And this would be the topic of my next video. So thanks for watching and see you in the next one.